Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 1 hour. Firing in former US President Donald Trump's Pennsylvania rally. Trump injured, 1 killed and shooter neutralized. FBI calls it an assassination attempt. US President Joe Biden speaks to Donald Trump. Investigation. House of Representatives vows to conduct full investigation of shooting. Leaders continue to condemn political violence against Trump. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi says violence has no place in politics and democracies. And in Euro 2024, Spain to meet England in the final. History will beckon for either winner. Let's begin with the big story we are tracking this hour. Gunfire erupted at former US President Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania on Saturday, sparking panic in the crowd and spattering the Republican presidential candidate with blood before he emerged and defiantly pumped his fist in the air and was ushered to a waiting car. The Secret Service and the former president's campaign said Trump was safe following the shooting in Pennsylvania. In the shooting incident, an audience member was killed and a shooter had been neutralized. The shooting occurred less than 4 months before the November 5th election, when Trump faces an election rematch with Democratic President Joe Biden. US President Joe Biden has condemned the shooting incident. Addressing the nation after the incident, Biden said that he has an opinion about whether the shooting at former President Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania was an attempted assassination.
Hold of Donald. He's with his doctors. Apparently he's doing well. I plan on talking to him shortly, I hope, when I get back to the telephone. Look, there's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick. It's sick. It's one of the reasons why we have to unite this country. We cannot allow for this to be happening. We cannot be like this. We cannot condone this.
Issuing a statement on Truth Social, Donald Trump said, and I quote him, "I want to thank the United States Secret Service and all of law enforcement for their rapid response on the shooting incident that took place in Butler, Pennsylvania. Most importantly, I want to extend my condolences to the family of the person at the rally who was killed and also to the family of the person who was badly injured. It is incredible that such an act can take place in our country. Nothing is known at this time about who the shooter was, who is dead. I was also shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear. I knew immediately that something was wrong in that. I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin. Much bleeding took place, so I realized then what was happening. God bless America." Trump was out of hospital late on Saturday following the shooting earlier in the day at Pennsylvania rally. The Trump campaign said that he is doing well. An assassination attempt was being looked into in relation to the incident. Mitch McCann, our correspondent, joins us from New York. Mitch, FBI has confirmed that it was an assassination attempt. What more can you add?
Yeah, well, good evening from New York, where it has been an extraordinary few hours here in the United States after what the FBI, as you pointed out, is now describing as an assassination attempt against the 45th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. Now, I think it's important to go back and reiterate what happened this evening in Pennsylvania. Donald Trump was holding one of many rallies that he is holding in the lead up to the election. At 6:13 p.m. Eastern Time in Pennsylvania, there were these sounds that appeared to be bullets being fired. Donald Trump appeared understandably startled and grabbed his ear. He then went down on the ground and he was pounced upon. A number of Secret Service agents got to him very quickly, and he was on the ground for probably a matter of seconds, but it felt very long time. It felt like a number of minutes. Donald Trump then got up, raised his fist into the air, defiantly, and you could see the blood coming from Donald Trump's ear. As you pointed out, he says he is fine. He said, I knew something was wrong immediately. He heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through his skin. So as I say, the FBI calling this an assassination attempt on Donald Trump. It's important to bring you up to speed with some numbers too around who was injured and killed in this incident. So we know that one person has died, 2 people were critically injured, and in addition to those people, the shooter has been killed as well, according to the Secret Service. And there is some unverified video being posted by news outlets online appearing to show the shooter as well, which obviously we won't show. But it is being reported that the shooter has died, and it's believed to be a 20-year-old male from Pennsylvania. A 20-year-old male from Pennsylvania that shot Donald Trump. But police and local law enforcement at this stage are not releasing any more details about that person, including their name.
All right, Mitch, now we've seen reactions coming in from across the world with regard to this incident, but then what fallout, what repercussions will it have on the presidential race?
Well, this will certainly be a turning point in the presidential campaign. It's probably too early at this stage to say exactly how things are going to go in the coming weeks. I think one thing that will be certain is that there will be increased security for people like Donald Trump, Joe Biden. And it's also been raised tonight by US media outlets that there could be more Secret Service security for people that may be Donald Trump's vice presidential candidate. Of course, Donald Trump is about to go to the Milwaukee Republican National Convention this week. It is a major moment for him and the party where he will formally accept the nomination for the Republican Party for president. It's there he is expected to announce who his vice president will be if he is elected in November and then sworn in January. So it's been raised tonight the possibility that those potential vice presidential candidates will also have increased security. So to go back to your question, it's hard to know so early what's going to happen, but one thing I think is certain is that the security is going to be increased at both rallies and events and for these candidates.
All right, Mitch, also this throws more light on the current gun laws, Article 5 in the country. Former President Donald Trump said that if elected, he will undo and he will take back the Biden-era gun laws. What is your take on that? Is there a need to take a look again at the gun laws at Article 5 in the country?
Well, it's certainly going to be interesting to see how the Republicans react to suggestions like that, how they talk about gun laws in the coming weeks. I think one thing is important to note here, that they aren't doing that just yet. No one on the Democrats or the Republican side is talking about gun laws just yet. It's probably too soon. It might be viewed as very insensitive to talk about that so far, but that might be one of those conversations that come up in the coming days. I think another point that's really important to talk to you about is the fact that it's been reported also the gunman involved in the situation was not inside the rally and therefore had not taken a weapon inside, hadn't gone through the airport security, airport style security rather, that the Secret Service have in place with a weapon. It's believed that person was outside the venue at an elevated position, so they hadn't taken a weapon into the venue and the weapon had not been missed by Secret Service in terms of going in there. So I think there are plenty of important aspects to consider in the coming days, both around weapons generally and the gun laws that you mentioned.
All right, Mitch, we'll leave it here. Thank you so much for joining in with those details and those inputs. And still with the same story, US President Joe Biden spoke with Donald Trump on Saturday following the shooting at former president's rally in Pennsylvania, the White House said. Biden also spoke with Pennsylvania Governor Joe Shapiro and Butler Mayor Bob Dandoy. US Vice President Kamala Harris took to X and condemned the shooting at Donald Trump. She posted that violence such as this has no place in our nation. We must all condemn this abhorrent act and do our part to ensure that it does not lead to more violence. Up your screens, we have reaction coming in from Vice President of the US Kamala Harris. Also, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken posted. And after this, we will have the reaction coming in of US Secretary of State Antony Blinken. He says, I'm shocked and saddened by the shooting at former President Trump's rally and grateful that he is safe. As the President of the US said, there is no place for political violence in America and we must all condemn it. Former US President Barack Obama posted that there is absolutely no place for political violence in our democracy. Although we don't yet know exactly what happened, we should all be relieved that former President Trump was not seriously hurt and use this moment to recommit ourselves to civility and respect in our politics. Michelle and I are wishing him a quick recovery. Expressing shock on the incident, newly elected UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer condemned the incident on X. He said, and I quote him, I'm appalled by the shocking scenes at President Trump's rally and we send him and his family our best wishes. Political violence in any form has no place in our societies and my thoughts are with the victims of this attack. Prime Minister of Australia Anthony Albanese has expressed his deep concern and sorrow over the incident that occurred at former President Donald Trump's campaign event in Pennsylvania. In a statement on social media platform X, he emphasized the importance of maintaining peace and respect within the democratic process. In a tweet, Prime Minister of Australia Albanese says, and I quote him, the incident at former President Trump's campaign event in Pennsylvania today is concerning and confronting. There is no place for violence in the democratic process. I'm relieved to hear reports that former President Trump is now safe. And I unquote him. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also expressed deep concern and grief following the incident at former President Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania. In a heartfelt statement on social media platform X, Prime Minister Modi conveyed his support and well wishes for Trump's recovery. On X, Prime Minister said, and I quote him, deeply concerned by the attack on my friend, former President Donald Trump. Strongly condemn the incident. Violence has no place in politics and democracies. Wish him speedy recovery. Our thoughts and prayers are with the family of the deceased, those injured, and the American people. Also, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro condemned the attack and wished Donald Trump a speedy recovery.
Recibimos una noticia.
We received news that in the United States there was an attack against the former president and the presidential candidate Donald Trump. On behalf of all Venezuela and our people, I want to condemn and repudiate the attack against former President Donald Trump. Wish him a speedy recovery and may God bless the people of the United States and give them peace and tranquility. We have been adversaries, but I wish President Trump health, a long life, and I condemn this attack.
Dr. Rajun Kumar, School of International Studies, JNU, is joining us to share his insights and analysis. Thank you so much, sir. Good morning. Thank you for joining in on DD India News Hour. This is indeed a serious and a grave incident that has happened in the US. To begin with, I would want you to analyze for us the timing of the incident and the fallout of this incident on the presidential race.
I think this was very shocking in the sense that, in the last 50 years or so, not this kind of attempt has taken place. If I remember correctly, I think the last attempt was made on Ronald Reagan, and I think that was 1981. When he was injured also, he was seriously injured. And before that, if I can take you a little further, so all of us know the incident of JFK,
yes.
I think, in 1960s, and then Martin Luther King, who was not the president, but very famous political activist of America, a black right activist, civil right activist. So, America has a kind of, the culture of violence without any doubt, where several attempts have been made on previous presidents and dignitaries. If I talk you just about the presidents of United States, so Abraham Lincoln, earlier also, I think, Johnson, then Roosevelt, not this Roosevelt, but 1912 Roosevelt. So there have been attempts by by lunatics. Many times it has been actually lunatics who are, crazy people. They kind of try to target American presidents or dignitaries. As far as the recent incident is concerned, this is very shocking and it was totally unexpected. Nobody thought that this kind of thing take place. This is a case of a former president president. And remember that the former president is protected by the what you call American Secret Services, and they are the most powerful services in the world, the defense services in the world. So despite that, this attack has taken place. So this is in a way also the failure of secret police of America. That he was, of course, he was not a part of rally, but he was being targeted from outside. So how did that happen, and how come the Secret Service didn't take that into account when a former president is campaigning in a huge rally in Pennsylvania? And Pennsylvania is a 60% rural and 40% urban, so it has a lot of rural population also, and it has very huge Trump support in that state. And despite that, this has happened. And I saw the footage where he was hit by a bullet which pierced through his right part of his ear, and he immediately fell down behind the podium, and then he was picked up by the Secret Services and kind of ushered off to a new destination that nobody knows. Probably he's in hospital, and as the reports that we have, that he's safe, he's doing fine. And even just immediately after the attack, I saw the footage where he kind of pumped his fist in the air, showing a kind of defiance, showing that he's doing fine, and he kind of uttered the word very meekly, fight, something like that. So this is very shocking, and this will have political fallouts, as you asked me. In my way, as one would be that there'll be heightened security protection for two presidents. Beyond that, this will lead to, in my view, Trump was already leading by margin, according to opinion polls, of course, and this will lead to huge surge in sympathy votes for Trump. And Trump will take, let me tell you that, Trump will take full advantage of this incident, and he'll definitely get a lot of sympathy votes also in the coming years. And his nominations, third time Republican nomination is going to come in few days, and he'll certainly be nominated. That was anyway not without earlier also, but again, with this kind of incident, it goes in his favor as far as political outcome is concerned.
All right, that was about the political outcome. So you also mentioned about how the former presidents were attacked. But this incident comes at a time when the presidential race is on. One. Secondly, political violence in the US recently has taken many forms, if I may say, the January 6th insurrection, and then also we've seen how violent threats and harassment of the election officials takes place in the country, and also swatting attempts targeted at elected officials. Having said that, put all this together, if I may say, is this a hook or crook way forward in politics in the US, or my way or no way? Is this a new era of politics that we are witnessing in the US?
I think it represents a kind of malaise which has gone very deep in American politics. And as you rightly pointed out, the incident of January 6th, and what is happening, that American society today is extremely polarized. And that if you have that kind of extreme polarization, where in the speeches, in the rallies, the kind of hatred is being provoked by the leaders. So that kind of adds that works as a kind of fuel in adding fuel to the fire. And that is what is happening, in my view, in American society. The malaise is not just about the increasing political polarization and the kind of the hate speech which are being given by both the sides. It's not just one, but also the other side has to be blamed. And that is happening in a context where American the gun culture is very, very important. And Trump is associated with the American Rifle Association. And let me tell you that whenever the Democrats, the other side, they wanted to control the gun law,
yes,
Trump would step forward and try to not allow that law to get passed in. And this is very typical of American culture. I've lived there for some time, so I understand that how it's extremely difficult for American legislators, the liberal legislators, to kind of put a check on the gun. And the gun, not only gun, a small pistol and all, people, rifles, they can be acquired by the people who are crazy or lunatic. And as you know, in one particular case, that President Biden's son, he was given a gun license when he was a drug addict, and that is the case being run against him. So you can understand how deep that malaise has gone into American society, and legally also there is no way that law can control some of the things which people in America are against. This majority of the people, I'm saying, they are against this gun license, the way it's being given to kids, the way it's given to a lot of people. And even this particular incident, as you know, the person who is responsible for this assassination attempt is 20-year-old.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a very young boy who can be easily indoctrinated. How did he get the gun? How did he get access to? So all of that is related, and that kind of reflects the deeper problem that has
Yes, indeed. That brings me to the next question as well. After the incident, Donald Trump, the visuals of Donald Trump rising again, flashing his fist towards the crowd, shows his defiance, shows how unfazed he is. But at the same time, he also vowed to undo or to bring back the Biden, in fact undo the Biden era gun laws. So put all this together, the timing of the incident and how Donald Trump seemed unfazed by this incident, and if elected to power, he vows to bring, to undo the Biden era gun laws. Put all this together, is there a need for a relook at Article 5 in the country?
Well, in my view, or in the perspective of any person who thinks rationally, this gun culture, the way licenses are being procured in America by all kind of people, right from youngsters to the lunatic people, that has to change. In American university, we had a subject, we had a course where there were books being taught on this gun culture and how the society is completely divided between the people who support the acquiring of the gun and people who are against gun laws. But because of the way American society has evolved, American culture has evolved. So this acquiring gun is associated with right to life and right of your security and protection. So people argue against kind of putting curbs on this gun license, and Trump has said that he'll undo some of the laws, some of the restrictions essentially, which were brought by Biden administration, and that that goes against the policies of Trump, because he has been supporting Rifle Association, he has been supporting, and he has been against any restriction on gun license, etc. But unfortunately, this kind of incident should teach some lesson to the legislators, especially from the Republican Party and in the white belt, that this kind of thing affects not just the children, and every year the largest number of children being killed in a school shootout is in America, and nowhere in the world you have this kind of incident the way it happens. And despite the fact that American society is a very law-bound society otherwise, but because of this law, this lot of shooting takes place, and President Trump today has become victim, which is very unfortunate, which is very sad. But yes, he should do something. But the kind of politics that we have in America, the kind of polarization that we have, and the kind of the lobbies which are very strong in America, and Rifle Association is one of the strongest lobbies in America. So I don't think that he'll make laws which will will change the Article 5 that you're referring to, or he'll in fact his laws were against this restrictions put forward by the Republican Party. So I think Trump is also a very rigid kind of person. He has values which are very values which are very which protects the right of the white American population, the values of that kind of masochist violence. So that I don't think President Trump would make changes in law where restrictions were brought by the he will in fact he'll say that the argument which is very strange and ironical in the case of America. They say that if you do not allow people to acquire guns, they cannot protect themselves against this kind of violence. So this is the kind of argument which is given by the American people. They say that a lot of people who can attack others, and if you do not have gun, there is no way police or the state can protect them. So you have to allow a gun to every individual. So that's the logic which is given, which is very sad. And in the process, as you see, that a lot of people who are mentally ill, not doing very well mentally, so they also acquire guns and licenses, and that's how you have the outcome like this.
All right, so we'll have to see how this this issue and this attack pans out ahead. But sir, very quickly, in your closing comments, let us get more from you as to how do you expect the presidential race to pan out from here on?
This, I think, the Trump is definitely going to come as he'll be nominated for the Republican nominee in the coming days. In the Democrat side, there is a massive confusion going on. Some of the people within Democrats, they are talking to President Biden. They are saying that this is the right time for you to step down. But also there is a very strong lobby within that Biden campaign team who say that he should stick. And they had the big boy conference. They are having other conferences to prove a point that he is mentally fit. So that I think in coming days it's possible that some change might take place within the within the Democratic nomination. So if that happens, there'll be a complete change in American politics. But at this moment, Trump will utilize this event. He'll take advantage of this event for mobilizing voters, especially in the 6 swing states, which are the deciding factor in American presidential elections. So it's advantage Trump. That's what I can tell you.
All right, we'll leave it here. Thank you so much, sir, for joining in and sharing your insights on DD India News. Thank you for your participation. And police in New York ramped up security at Trump Tower following the shooting incident in Pennsylvania. Uniformed officers and a police dog patrolled outside the building's main entrance on Manhattan's 5th Avenue. So police in New York ramped up security arrangements at Trump Tower following the shooting incident in Pennsylvania. Donald Trump is reported to be safe. In the visuals, we can see uniformed police officers and a police dog also patrolling the Trump Tower. House Speaker Mike Johnson vowed to conduct a full investigation of the shooting incident. Posting on X, he said, and I quote him, "The American people deserve to know the truth. We will have Secret Service Director Kimberly Seattle and other appropriate officials from DHS and the FBI appear for a hearing before our committees as soon as possible." The shooting is being investigated as a possible assassination attempt, according to law enforcement officials. The shootout at Donald Trump at a rally has raised many questions on security, as a former president and Republican presidential candidate Trump is protected primarily by the Secret Service. In moments after Trump was injured, he was quickly surrounded by Secret Service personnel who formed a human shield and whisked him away. Veteran of the Secret Service says the agency aims to look at the incident with a fine-tooth comb.
To see an after action take place here to look at exactly what happened here, what did the venue or the physicality of the venue play in this situation, and what could have been done, if anything, to have negated this issue. There may not be anything that could have been done, and this person was able to perform this nefarious activity without being detected by the Secret Service for some reason. Don't know the answer to that, but I can tell you the Secret Service, the FBI, and those local, state, and federal partners are going to be looking at this with a fine-tooth comb and being able to send out a message to all the details now to make sure that whatever happened here, there are no copycat situations moving along.
The FBI has called the shooting incident at former President Donald Trump's rally on Saturday night an attempted assassination. The FBI has deployed investigative agents, evidence response teams, and other personnel from across the country.
This evening we had what we're calling an assassination attempt against our former president, Donald Trump. It's still an active crime scene. As I mentioned, we have a number of agents on scene. We also are working closely with other federal agencies, our state partners, and our local police partners as well.
The FBI has deployed investigative agents, evidence response teams, and other personnel from across the country and said that the motive behind the shooting is not clear and is being investigated.
The FBI stands with the people of Butler County in Western Pennsylvania, the FBI has deployed a number of our resources. We have intelligence analysts as well, working from our field office in Pittsburgh, working feverishly to attempt to identify the individual who did this and any motives behind why this was done.
The House Oversight Committee invites the U.S. Secret Service Director Kimberly Seattle to testify on July 22nd, following the shooting incident at former President Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania. This request underscores the committee's intent to thoroughly investigate the circumstances surrounding the event and to understand the security measures that were in place at the time. The testimony of the Secret Service Director is expected to provide critical insights into how the security breach occurred and what steps are being taken to prevent similar incidents in the future. After the shootout at former President Donald Trump, his campaign has issued a joint statement stating that the leader is doing well and that he looks forward to further campaigning. They clarified that Trump looks forward to the 4-day convention in Wisconsin's Milwaukee to nominate him to serve as the 47th President of the United States. You're watching DD India News Hour. We're heading for a short break. Stay with us.
India keeps getting hotter and hotter, people will be looking for innovations to help combat the impacts of climate change and to cut the emissions that are causing it.
Zero tillage wheat, it builds soil carbon. It removes carbon dioxide from the air and builds soil carbon. It's like planting a tree underground.
What's happening here is preservation through conversion and transformation. I think you can see that very well here. You can take good experiences from it, and those are transferable.
Perovskite over silicon, as mature, is the ease of processing. Silicon is something that is relatively energy intensive to fabricate, but this is something that can be done at close to room temperatures.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News Hour. Jagannath Temple in Puri is not just a spiritual center for the devotees, but also one of the richest temples in the country. The doors of the Ratna Bhandar, or the temple treasure, are set to be opened for the first time in 4 decades. DD India correspondent Shubhendu Ghosh speaks with retired Justice Biswanath Rath, chairman of the committee tasked with opening the inventory of the Ratna Bhandar. Let's listen in.
I have with me Justice Biswanath Rath, head of the committee responsible for supervising the making of the inventory of Ratna Bhandar of Jagannath Dham. So thank you for connecting with DD India. There's a lot of interest about the very opening of the Ratna Bhandar, the treasure trove. If you can tell us about how historic is the day and what will be the process of it.
This has a great significance because there has been no inventory since 1978. The last inventory has prepared certain documents on the availability of the ornaments and jewelries in the treasury of the Lord Jagannath. Thereafter, there has been some issues. There is no requirement, of course, in having the inventory. In the meantime, there has been feeling in the managing committee on the damaging aspect inside the Ratna Bhandar. Ratna Bhandar is having 2 sections. One is inner Ratna Bhandar, they call it Bhitar Ratna Bhandar, and where they keep the ornaments and jewelries which are not used at all. And there is also the other aspect, other part is called Bahar Bhandar, you may call it outer Bhandar, where the jewelries and ornaments of the deity required for the daily purpose and the ritual purpose are kept. So now that there is a feeling, there is report supported with the report of repairing, we are going to open the Ratna Bhandar. Since the Ratna Bhandar is going to be opened, the government in its wisdom has a feeling, let us also move with the inventory of the properties of the Lord Jagannath. That is also an interest shown by the large section of the people of the state as well as the Hindu dharmis in the entire world.
Right.
So,
and sir, how many people will be able to enter the Ratna Bhandar and what rituals will they have to participate in, given that it's a very spiritually, religiously very important place for Hindus?
See, this needs sanctity. Purity must be there. This is a temple inside working. So they have different nitis and niyams. They have already spoken to us in the committee meeting. And SOP also contains the formalities that has to be maintained. It's a normal affair. Once we go inside the Garbhagruha, where the deity sits, that Gruha never allowed people wearing their normal clothes enter. That is only the Gruha Pravesh will be only with a gauncha on the waist and wet gauncha, and you call it towel, a light towel, and you put a light towel so on the shoulder. And then there has been also promises are to be undertaken. Before entering, we are to take permission of Lord Jagannath to open its bhandar. We are to take keys permission from the Lakshmi, the wife of Lord Jagannath. Then we are also to take permission of Lord Lokanath, who is the watchman of the treasure of the Lord Jagannath. And we will also have a promise, whatever we see, it will all be secret. It will be from our eyes to head and not to mouth or hand.
Sir, I understand that Ratna Bhandar, or the treasure of the Lord, has been accumulated over hundreds of years. Is there any estimate of what is the value of this treasure in today's times?
There has been estimation, because I understand, and after looking to the reports of 78, I find they have in detail calculated what is the quantity of gold, what is the quantity of diamond, what is the quantity of silver, what is the quantity of other type of ornaments. But however, there is no valuation on the valuation aspect done at all. There has been, of course, mentioning of the Ratna, Nila, Moti, Manikya, whatever put on the different type of ornaments. It's only 2 Ratnas or 3 Manikyas or 4 Motis like this. Nature and value has never been assessed. Of course, it is God treasurer, therefore it may not be worth in getting into valuation of it. We can only go into the measurements and quality and quantity.
And so finally, how long will the inventory of such a big treasure, Ratna Bhandar, take?
Inventory falls to the 4th part of the project undertaken. First part is opening and taking an assessment of the damages inside the Bhitar Bhandar. Bahar Bhandar is daily open, therefore Bahar Bhandar is easily accessible. Then shifting of the second aspect will be shifting of the jewelries and ornaments of the deities to a safer place. The third aspect is repairing. By keeping it open, we will be leaving it to the repairing aspect. Then the moment the repairing will be closed, we will enter into the 4th aspect, the Ganti Minti, that is they called inventorization. So inventory aspect needs certain very major requirements, like finding out proper person to identify the nature, character of the type of ornaments available there. This is not an ordinary thing, because we are going to undertake an exercise of jewelries of more than 1,000 years. So therefore, educated person's requirement will be there. Not only that, we may be also requiring appropriate machines to recognize such stones. So that's why we have already given our proposal in that regard to government. Government may take some time, because selection of these persons will definitely take some time. A procedure will be followed, and we assure the moment government will provide us this mechanism, the proper person to identify and the machine also to help such identification, we assure within shortest time we will be completing. So far as you are asking how many people will be getting inside the Ratna Bhandar, see, this is very close area and not that a big area. At the same time, we are also to see that the niti-ritis of the deity and the darshan facility of the visitors are not affected that much. Therefore, keeping that view, we, the high-level committee, the managing committee under the headship of Gajapati of Puri, and the government are all together and in tandem have come to decide limited number of people will go. It has been left to the high-level committee to find their 1 or 2 persons for the purpose. Similarly, it has been left to the managing committee to find their 2 or 3 persons. Similarly, it has been also left to the ASI group to find out their experts to find the defects and also to take out some technicians with them for the immediate necessity. Simultaneously, we have also asked ensuring the medical team, the snake help people, they will be, and fire brigade people, police security people, all will remain standby outside. In the event of any necessity, they will be allowed to enter.
Thank you very much for speaking.
Thank you very much. Jai Jagannath.
That was Justice Biswanath Rath talking about the importance of the Ratna Bhandar and the historic day when the gates of it will be opened, with camera person Jagmohan. Shubhendu Ghosh for DD India in Jagannath Dham.
On July 14, 2023, and a year ago on this day, India scripted history with ISRO launching Chandrayaan-3 successfully. India left its footprints on the moon for the first time ever by touching down on the moon's south pole surface as the proud nation watched the countdown with bated breath. DD India senior consulting editor Sakal Bhatt gets us this report.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
14 July 2023, this date marks India's successful soft landing near the moon's south pole, moment of national pride, establishing the country as the first one to achieve this remarkable feat, the feat of landing a spacecraft in such proximity to the lunar south pole. Chandrayaan-3 is India's third lunar mission and second attempt at achieving soft landing on the moon's surface. On July 14, 2023 at 2:35 p.m., Chandrayaan-3 took off from Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota. The spacecraft seamlessly entered lunar orbit on August 5, 2023. The historic moment unfolded when the lander made a successful touchdown near the lunar south pole on August 23, 2023, demonstrating safe and soft landing on lunar surface, also demonstrating rover roving on moon and to conduct in situ scientific experiments. Chandrayaan-3 is a 3-component mission consisting of propulsion module, lander module and rover module. Propulsion module carried the lander and rover configuration till 100-kilometer lunar orbit. Lander module or Vikram is carrying scientific payload that includes a suite of instruments to study the lunar surface and atmosphere. The rover module or Pragyan is carrying a suite of instruments to study the lunar surface and subsurface, which includes alpha particle X-ray spectrometers and laser-induced breakdown spectroscopy or LIBS for deriving the elemental composition in the vicinity of the landing site. Successful launch of Chandrayaan-3 resulted in major findings of the mission. Chandra's surface thermophysical experiment measured temperatures reaching 70 degrees Celsius. This surprised scientists who expected temperatures between 20 to 30 degrees Celsius. Lunar surface elements confirmed. The laser-induced breakdown spectroscopy instrument on board Pragyan rover confirmed the presence of sulfur on the lunar surface near the South Pole. Elements such as aluminium, calcium, iron, chromium, titanium, manganese, silicon and oxygen were also detected. So why is Chandrayaan-3 significant for the Indian space program? Multiple reasons to the credit. It makes India part of the elite group of nations, Russia, the United States and China, with demonstrated lunar soft landing capability. India's indigenous cryogenic engines and efforts to declutter the orbit showcases its leadership in space technology, including positioning India as a global hub in the new space economy. The investigation of lunar properties has also been an important dimension of the findings of Chandrayaan-3 mission. Propulsion module studies Earth's atmosphere, lander module investigates lunar surface properties, and rover module analyzes lunar rocks and soil. Soft landing capability contributes valuable insights to India's missile defense program. The reusable launch vehicle technology derived from the mission aids in cost reduction for future launches. Autonomous rovers developed from rover module find applications in disaster management and infrastructure monitoring. Finally, in space tourism and economic activities as well, there has been increasing interest in space tourism. India's groundbreaking mission Chandrayaan-3 uncovered Moon's long-guarded secret while setting the tone for India's mega space movement, where sky and beyond is the limit.
23 अगस्त को जब भारत ने चंद्रमा पर तिरंगा फहराया, उस दिन को अब हिंदुस्तान नेशनल स्पेस डे के रूप में मनाया जाएगा.
Sakal Bhatt's report for DD India.
Robocon 2024 will conclude in New Delhi's Tyagraj Stadium on Sunday. The event, organized by IIT Delhi in collaboration with Prasar Bharati, has witnessed participation of 150 plus students from across the country. IIT Delhi's Professor K. Saha talks about the grand success of DD Robocon and how it helps in building future generations and making India self-reliant. This is all in an exclusive conversation with our correspondent Deepika Mato. Take a listen in.
And now to talk about the grand success of DD Robocon 2024, we have with us IIT Delhi's Professor K. Saha. Sir, thank you so much for giving your time and talking to DD India. When we talk about the importance of DD Robocon and the kind of inputs, the kind of arrangements and the kind of planning that IIT Delhi has done, what is your vision? What are the expectations from the students and what do you want to achieve from such sort of an event?
We want to make these students industry ready. What do I mean? That they should learn how a robot means mechanical, electrical, computer science, AI, IT, all things should be included as a part of the system. And once they do it, they also have to manage the team spirits, finance, etc. So that way we consider that our vision is to make future generation industry ready engineers who will take our country, not only make it Atmanirbhar Bharat, but also to take a lead in the world as one of the best countries in the world.
What do you think how this event is going to help the students to become more self-reliant and to understand technology better and how they can further utilize it in a positive manner?
Okay, talking about AI, you see AI requires something to be driven, like in this case robot, right? So robots have to be made in such a manner so that it can understand the AI aspects of it. So AI then will synthesize based on the maps given to this robot, based on the scanning done. It will take turn right, turn left, go up, this kind of thing. So with this kind of AI included in robot, I think robots can come home, help people, maybe old people, in the hospitals, the patients, in the buildings for surveillance, so you just name it. So every the places it can be utilized.
All right, let's take a look at sports updates now. India will square off with Zimbabwe in the 5th and final T20 international match in Harare today. India have already sealed the series with a 3-1 lead after they defeated the hosts in the 4th T20 match on Saturday. But the tourists will hope to finish the series on a high, while the hosts will seek to redeem their pride in the dead rubber. India bounced back in the series after losing the opening game. Indians are likely to make some changes in the playing 11 to give opportunity to youngsters. Their batters and bowlers have stamped up their authority over the hosts, while Zimbabwe have struggled with the bat and their woes have compounded due to sloppy fielding. In tennis, defending champion Carlos Alcaraz and 7-time champion Novak Djokovic will lock horns for Wimbledon title on Sunday. The summit clash promises to be a fitting climax to last year's title blockbuster, where Alcaraz overcame Djokovic in 5 sets. Djokovic will have history to write with a record 25th Grand Slam title. Alcaraz, bidding for a 4th Grand Slam title, will need to avoid the wobbles that have seen him drop sets in every match from the 3rd round onwards. It will be the first Wimbledon repeat final since Djokovic met Roger Federer in the 2014 and 2015 title matches. Barbora Krejcikova of the Czech Republic beat Jasmine Paolini to win the Wimbledon title on Saturday. She resisted a spirited fight back by the Italian to win 6-2, 2-6, 6-4. Krejcikova showed her experience in the deciding set, serving superbly to add the Wimbledon crown to her 2021 French Open title. She had only won 3 matches in 5 months before the tournament after struggling with illness and injury. Krejcikova also owns 10 doubles Grand Slam titles, including 2 at Wimbledon, and is the latest in a long line of Czechs to win the singles at Wimbledon. All right, let's talk about another sporty clash of the day. England will take on Spain in the Euro final clash on Sunday in Berlin. Spain go into the final as slight favourites as they have won every match in the tournament. Spain's ball possession and movement is likely to give England their biggest test so far. Also, England will have to wrestle possession from Spain, who also have the outstanding Fabian Ruiz in the midfield. But a second successive Euro final for England is no mean feat, even though they had to endure weeks of criticism. On the areas of concern, in fact, one area of concern is England's failure to be dangerous at set-piece situations. England's defence had remained solid, and with the pace of John Stones and Kyle Walker, they have proved adept at scrambling recoveries. The Olympic flame is set to arrive in Paris on Sunday as part of celebrations to mark France's National Day, the Bastille Day. There will be a military parade and flyover, and the torch relay will also hit the streets of the French capital. Thousands of police officers will be on duty in Paris to ensure security as the games approach. DD India correspondent Ross Cullen gets us more.
After travelling thousands of kilometres across France and also to France's overseas territories, the Olympic flame will make its grand entrance to Paris on Sunday. There will then be a 2-day torch relay with the flame visiting all corners of the French capital, and also a cauldron outside City Hall will be lit. The flame then departs Paris once more and then returns definitively to the French capital in time for the Olympic opening ceremony on Friday, the 26th of July, now under 2 weeks away. The French Interior Ministry, the police and the intelligence services have been working overtime to ensure the safety of spectators and also those taking part in the torch relay, and to make sure they disrupt and stop any possible threats. Ross Cullen in Paris reporting for DD India.
World Audio, Visual and Entertainment Summit WAVES is a premier global event debuting in Goa in India in November 2024. Now, the summit is expected to pave the way for sustainable growth, attracting investments and positioning India as a global leader in the entertainment business.
Inspired by the Prime Minister's vision to make India a global leader in the media and entertainment industry, Goa is set to host the first World Audiovisual Entertainment Summit, or WAVES. Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnav announced the date from 20th to 24th of November 2024. He also unveiled the logo of WAVES with the tagline, "Come sail with us." The summit aims to spark ideas, fuel conversations, facilitate knowledge exchange and foster meaningful collaborations among leaders globally.
And our Prime Minister's vision is we should be able to harness the best out of this structural change. And we should be able to support the people, support the industry. Our Prime Minister, in his vision, he has always said that we should be able to democratize technology. So we created a system by which the tools are now available in 104 universities. So that means the students of these 104 universities are today getting access to the latest tools. So we'll adopt those best practices in the media and entertainment industry, having an inclusive growth where the people who are conventionally marginalized from the mainstream of the society also get the opportunity to be part of the mainstream, also get the opportunity to be part of this growth journey. That is a major focus for Prime Minister Modi ji.
Minister L. Murugan launched the official website of the WAVES. By establishing India as a hub for innovation and excellence, WAVES aims to attract investments and position India as a global leader in the entertainment business.
Goa, with its rich cultural heritage and scenic beauty, is a heaven for creativity and artistic expression. The place has been a perfect setting for the more than 100 films in the last decade alone. Our state is a vibrant participant in the global dialogue on art and entertainment. The warm and welcome environment of the Goa make its perfect setting for the international gathering like WAVES and IFI.
The summit will focus on few key aspects: news and information media, entertainment media, films, TV, music, animation, visual effects, and gaming. It will also focus on new media, digital media, OTT, and social media.
Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji's vision to bring all the global leaders in the entertainment, media, and the entertainment sector in India, particularly in Goa.
This summit is going to offer us opportunities to expand our global footprint as well as drive revenue growth and position India as a global leader in this particular segment.
WAVES 2024 promises to be a landmark platform for promoting new thinking in media and entertainment, establishing India as a global content hub. Tapas Bhattacharya's report for DD India, New Delhi.
Alright, that's it in this edition of DD India News Hour. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. This app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. You can scan the QR codes on your screens now to download. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India News Hour.